Go.
What is this? Mr. Costa, what was he thinking? What is this? Oh, God. Where is he? Mr. Costa, why are you late?
I was drinking.
You were drinking?
Yes.
You were drinking? Were you drinking when you were doing that report?
Most likely.
Most likely. You know how pathetic that was?
Yeah.
A fifth grader could do that work, and you got it wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay?
Yes.
Get out. You're fired. Pathetic excuse of a worker. Get out. Tired of this. Miss Vasquez,
Yes, sir?
I just fired Joe Acosta.
Yay! No more intervention.
Maybe. If you finish this report for him, because he is a pathetic worker who can't do anything right.
Okay, are you gonna pay us more?
If you get it right, and it's due by tonight.
Tonight?
Yes,
Are you
tonight.
crazy?
I don't care. Do it. And get your friend over there to help you.
Okay.
So sassy.
Alright.
Okay.
Why are you here?
Okay. So we know that a page of the book has 1-inch margins at the top and bottom,
Okay.
and its side margins have 1/2 inches in each side.
Alright.
So since there's a printed area of the page that's 50 inches squares, we had to find out the total area of the page by finding the dimensions. How are we going to do this?
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Oh, you know that our boss said that the page of the book has a 1-inch margin at the top and bottom, and in 1/2 inch side margins. So we decided to make the 1-inch margin at the top and the bottom known as our length, and then the width would be 1/2 inch side margins, like for each. So we decided in this problem that the formula would be x plus 2, y plus 1 times y plus 1 equals the area of the entire paper or page. So since we know that since the length, there's 2 lengths and both of the lengths is 1 inch, so we would just multiply that by 2, which 1 plus 1 equals 2. And the width is 1/2, and there's 2 widths, so you would multiply that by 2. So 1/2 times 2 is 1. This would make sense why we decided to use this equation. Now we want to know what the printed area is. So you know that we would have to multiply length by the width. So the x represents the length and the width represents the y. Did I say that right? Okay.
It's okay.
Crazy. Okay, yeah, okay. Can we start over? I'm sorry.
No, we'll crop it out.
Crop it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So the x equals length and the y equals the width, and we know that the printed area is 50 inches square. So we wanted to know what one of the values is. So we decided that we would divide 50 inches square divided by y, which will equal x. Once we find out what the x stands for, we decided to replace the x value for 50 over y into the original equation of the area of the entire page. So as you can see, it says 50 over y plus 2 times y plus 1 equals the area of the entire page. Then we decided to factor it by multiplying it. So we would do 50 over y times y, which is 50. Then 50 over y times 1 equals 50 over y. Then we did 2 times y equals plus 2y, and then 2 times 1 equals just 2. And the equation for that, after we factor it, was 50 over y plus 2y plus 2 equals a. Now we want to differentiate, which we know that when we differentiate 50, it's just 0, and when we differentiate the 2, it's just 0. So the only two values that we would focus on would be 50 over y plus 2y. When we differentiate 50 over y, we did the quotient rule, and
Sorry, a little bit back on that.
Just repeat it.
okay.
I got the part where it equals A, and then just go differentiate part.
Okay, so we know that when if we're gonna differentiate the 50 value, it would equal 0, and if we differentiate this value, which is 2, it would equal 0. So the only two values that we would have to focus on would be 50 over y plus 2y. So when we differentiate 50 over y, we would use the quotient rule, which is here. And when we do the formula, it would equal to negative 50 over y squared. Now, when we differentiate 2y, it's just 2. So it would be 2 minus 50 over y squared equals 0. For this, now we would have to find what the y value is. So since negative 50 over y squared has the value of y, we decided to separate them. So in this case, we would do 2 equals 50 over y squared. Now, we want to just, so as I said before, we want to know what y squared is. So we multiply 50 over y squared times y squared to cancel this out. And in order and then what you do on this side, we have to do on the other side. So in this case, it would be y squared times 2. So our new little, the new little problem that we're going to focus is now is 2y squared equals 50. So now we want to know want to just keep the y by itself. So we multiply that by 2. So 50 divided by 2. And we would get y squared equals 25. Then we would just, since we have y squared equals 25, we just want to know what y is. So we would just find the square root of 25. And we know that the square root of 25 is just 5. So that would be one of our dimensions of the printed section or area, which in this case would be y equals 5. And we all know that y is the width. So in this case, the width would be 5 inches. Now that we've found out what the width of the printed area is, we want to know what the length is. So now we have to go back to the equation of the printed area, which what we stated before was x plus y equals 50 inches squared. So now we have to just replace it. So if we know that the y is 5, but we don't know what the x is, we only have to do this. It's just 50 inches squared divided by 5, and what does that make? It's 10. 10 times 5 equals 50. So that would mean that the x value is 10 inches, which means that the length is 10 inches. So we just found out the dimensions of the printed areas. Now, just to go a little further, what the dimensions of the actual, like the entire page, we just go back, since we found out what the length is and what the width of the printed area is, you just replace the x value and the y value into the original equation of the area of the entire page. So since we stated here that x plus 2 times, parentheses, right, times y plus 1 equals the area of the entire page, now we know what the x is, so replace it. 10 plus 2, parentheses, right, times 5 plus 1 equals the area. So we get that 10 plus 2, that makes 12, and 5 plus 1, that makes 6, right? So we would say that the dimensions of the entire page, the length of the entire page would be 12 inches, and the width would be 6 inches of the entire page. That would mean that this would be the dimensions, and the total area of the entire page would be 72, because 12 times 6 equals 72 inches square. And yeah, that's practically it.
I'm suing you for assault, man.
Assault?
Yeah.
Why?
He was up at the end of the day.
Miss Vasquez,
Yeah.
good job on the report. You got it right.
Really?
Yeah, you guys get raisins.
Raisins?
No, I meant raisin.
Raisin.
Yes, I
do
need
you
all.
mean?
I need all the money to pay back this lawsuit against Joe Acosta.
Are you serious?
Yes, blame Joe. He's suing me.
Damn it, Joe! God damn it, Joe!
I got my laugh.
That was the weirdest laugh I ever heard. Are we still recording?